Did you get the album?
Yeah, I knew that was on there.
You want me to make your copy?
That's fine. I got the one.
Hello. All right, Norma, I did not realize it was going to be so cold this morning. I mean, it feels great, but I mean, can we just agree that this is not spring weather? It shouldn't be 59 degrees in the springtime.
We have like 9 months of summer.
We do. And when it gets to be 100 degrees in San Antonio, then we can only live by these memories. 91. But I will tell you what, my grass is looking beautiful. That's the most important thing. All right, everyone. Today is Wednesday. It's the middle of the week, and everyone should be happy because we're closer to Friday than we were yesterday. So I'm going to call the docket. We have a small docket today because usually we do jury selection on this day, but we moved jury selection to Friday. Yes. All right, Maria Medina. Thank you. In custody, we have Thomas Marsh and Alonzo Taylor. And they're just going to bring the inmates up all at once. Anthony Miller, Renee Torres, Herbert King. Thank you. Jose Garcia is in custody. Jesus Fraga, custody. Juan Garcia Sanchez. Thank you. Leonardo Rosales. Thank you. Oh, Norma, when is Boss, not Boss, Mr. Hilly's client coming back?
Bishop, correct?
Yes, Bishop. All right,
Monday.
Monday. All right,
Sorry.
no problem. Anyone here whose name was not called? All right, yes. Carlos. All right, thank you. Just have a seat. Yes,
My name is Jose Robles.
Jose Robles.
Guadalupe Robles.
All right. Let me ask you, the gentleman in the white shirt. Do you know who your attorney is? Who's- All right, just, I'm sorry. All right. Is English your first language? All right, do you feel more comfortable in Spanish? Okay, all right, thank you. And the other gentleman in the back, who's your attorney?
David Vela.
All right, have you had contact with him?
No.
All right, just have a seat. Ms. Ferguson, for both of them, before they leave here, if it's pre-indictment, have their attorneys come down so they can make sure that they know who their attorneys are and have contact with them. All right, and could I get the file on Juan Antonio Garcia Sanchez? It's not on the docket today, or is it?
Oh, which one?
Leal's client. Oh, it is on the docket.
You want to file the motion?
All right, could I see the file on that, please?
Yes. Carlos Martinez?
Yes.
Yes. Juan Antonio Garcia Sanchez.
May 1994.
Juan Antonio Garcia Sanchez, 2019 CR. Thank you.
Nombre es Carlos. Sí, Carlos de Negrito Díaz Martínez.
Ruben,
Yes.
I didn't come forward. Mr. Leal has filed this motion for continuance. Are you going to have any objection to it?
No.
Okay.
It's just a pre-indictment and it's Abel Garcia.
All right. Can you see if you can get Abel Garcia here? He's saying that, has he ever had in contact with him?
He said that his attorney told him to be here by 8:30.
No, I've been calling him, but he didn't answer.
All right, see if you can get his attorney here, even though I know it's,
Okay, thank you.
He came in yesterday and I told him to have pre-indictment.
all right, well, call him and see if he's in the building so he can meet his client.
Okay.
And then Norma, when you get a chance on Juan Antonio Garcia Sanchez, I'm going to grant the motion for continuance since defense counsel is ill. Can you give me a trial date? He's suggesting May 9th.
Give me 1 second.
Thank you.
Miller?
Deputy Laura, are you able to have Guzman to come over today, Brandon Guzman? I know it's late, but is it possible to get him here for Robert Mauer? All right, thank you. His attorney says that the RAV system wasn't working, so if they need an explanation, that's why.
Yeah, can I take the newest file?
Okay.
Yeah. No. you can go fast.
Thanks.
We all talk to me and stuff.
Yeah. Thanks.
You can just put it. Don't let it, no, set it yet until she. Don't put anything in that time, I mean, especially if they're in New Jersey. Even though the bonds, those defendants have to go through something. That like has to contact them before you. Because we have to do it in. The bond side, the guy with the fugitive, he still. He never turned it out. So. Just give me a second. I need to, if I can get that information. I gotta make sure this is on the- They only come to me by email. If you can do that, he or she can.
Norma,
Yes, ma'am.
for the jury trial on Mr. Juan Antonio Garcia Sanchez, defense counsel is suggesting a date in May. And he's asking for May 9th.
Let me double check that. Have a lot of cases. Yeah, that's fine. We'll put in for May 9th.
All right, state family violence on Juan Antonio Garcia Sanchez. Defense counsel is ill. He's in the hallway, so he's asking for a continuance and he's asking for May 9th. All right, could I see Mr. Juan Antonio Garcia Sanchez, please? If you'll come forward. And he's Spanish speaker. So where is my Spanish speaker?
I didn't know you were gonna call him up right now.
What, do you speak Spanish?
I can call, I'm just.
No, do you speak Spanish?
me,
All right.
and-
So we are going to recall you back on May 9th. Oh, he understands. All right, she's going to give you a reset form. Thank you. You'll have to teach me some Spanish.
Okay, well,
I'm sorry.
I'm only done.
Okay. All right. Have a good one.
Okay.
All right, then the party's on Anthony Miller.
Okay.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. How are you doing? Long time no see.
That's, I was just gonna say that, Your Honor.
Yeah.
Very fine.
All right, you all are switching on me.
I'm sorry.
Oh, come down, Mr. Miller.
Do I have that look, Your Honor?
All right, so Mr. Miller, your attorney is asking for a bond for you.
So
All right, so why were you not in court?
I was, whenever I was initially arrested in Wilson County, they never told me that they wouldn't get the dates for Bexar County. So everything was kind of a big mishap. I've been calling into my bill, but it's been my fault. I'll say it's my fault. I should have been more prepared, should have been on top of it more. But yeah, so me,
How long have you been in custody?
about 3 years now.
All right, so we're going to go on the record briefly. Court is calling 2022 CR 3230, State of Texas versus Anthony Miller. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Jason Garahan, Your Honor.
For the
Dr.
defense?
Garcia and Shannon Locke's attorney record, you're not his associate attorney. Your Honor.
All right, and are you Anthony Miller?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any objection to this attorney standing in?
No, ma'am.
All right, so because of the new rules with issuing bonds, there are some questions that I need to ask you. to make sure that the bond conditions I give you are appropriate. Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Anthony Miller?
All right. Mr. Miller, do you have any drug issues?
No, ma'am.
All right, have you ever used drugs?
I've smoked before,
All right, what have you smoked?
marijuana.
How often?
Probably every so often or so. Not anytime recently. I'm a general manager now, so I'm pretty clear.
All right, and the reason why I ask you these questions is because I try to set conditions of bond so that people are successful on their bond, show up to court. My goal is protecting the community and making sure you show up on court. That's the reason why I'm asking these questions. And none of these questions that I'm asking you are going to be used by the state at trial. This is just strictly for this hearing. Have you ever been diagnosed with any mental health issues?
Well,
How far did you go in school?
I was gonna go to college, but due to a couple matters, I wasn't able to attend. So I joined the workforce as soon as I got out of high school. I plan on joining back up into school and starting taking semesters here in the next year or so.
Okay. And do you have any children?
No, ma'am.
And do you have a place to live?
Yes, I rent a house right now. I'm trying to own my own property and stuff.
All right. And does anyone else live at that home with you?
Me and my girlfriend.
All right. And are there any children in the home?
Well,
And so that home is still available for you?
yes.
Okay. All right. Can you all print me out another B page on 2022 CR 3230? Any questions from the state?
No,
Any questions from the defense?
no.
All right. What bond are you suggesting?
Judge, I believe I spoke with defense counsel and we had agreed previously to a $10,000 bond.
All right. Are you able to make a $10,000 bond?
I can, yes, ma'am.
All right. So what the court will do is I'll set your bond at $10,000. And because you're telling the court that there are no issues with drugs or mental health issues, I will not order any type of special needs program. And I will not order the drug testing.
Can I ask my lawyer a question real quick?
Sure. Yes.
Like just advised me that he has, his grandfather passed away in Ohio, and he's gonna ask permission to see if he can travel to Ohio for purposes of attending his funeral.
Oh, if he just, whether or not he goes to Ohio or not, that depends on, oh, you want to go around? Everybody always wants to
It just
reach.
started, Judge. It just started.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Whether or not you go to Ohio, that depends on your bondsman.
Mhm.
All I require is that you be in court on the date that I'm telling you to be in court on.
I can do that.
And we're going to give you your court date before you leave here today. And if that coincides with the funeral, just let the court know.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So how much time are you asking for with regards to a reset?
Your Honor, and I apologize, I haven't, I don't know where we're at with discovery. I respectfully asked for at least, if the court would allow at least 30 days or however much time, if we can
Okay.
get more. I just don't know where we're at with the discovery, and I apologize for nothing.
No problem. When is the funeral? Do you know?
The funeral is tomorrow.
Well, they're probably not gonna release you until,
I believe Mr. Luck may be doing the, or someone from Ross may be doing the bond, I'm not too sure, but we'll do our best to expedite on our end to have that.
if there's an issue with him being released from the jail, because usually they will not release you till 1 a.m. Just let the court know, but please let me know before 5,
Yes, Your
because
Honor.
I teach class, and so I will not be here after 5:30.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so your bond is set at $10,000. Ms. Ferguson, can you give them a reset for 30 days? All right, we'll be back on April 17th. Okay,
Thank you.
you're welcome. And counsel,
Yes.
You'll make sure that they input this immediately. Okay, it's good seeing you. All right. Yes, okay, have a good one. Okay, all right, thank you.
You're on fire.
Well, most definitely.
Now, approach your honor.
Yes.
Just want you to know I'm.
Oh, you're in jury duty?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, wow. If you were here Friday, you would probably be called up here.
You know what? I can make that work.
Okay, so how's jury duty going?
Well, nice. They give us a little bit of time to come up here
Yeah.
and do some casework.
Yeah.
So I'm running around.
Yeah, how's Stephanie doing?
She's good. Went to 4 rounds into the season, so.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so her team's good. Now it's off season. She lost 4 seniors. So she's having to
Rebuild, yeah.
and just get them right.
Yeah.
So.
And so how are the children doing? I
Hannah?
guess I shouldn't call them children anymore. They're
Oh,
grown.
Yeah, Hannah's married, 26, just came back from Austria. Her husband plays basketball overseas, 6'8" dude. So they're doing great. She looks great. Jacob's senior year at Arizona State, about to graduate, and then Devin's 17, so he'll be a senior next year, and I'm already start crying.
Well, you're gonna be like, this is my last baby.
Oh, yeah.
But then pretty soon, well, not pretty soon, but when you want them, you'll have the grandchildren.
And it was right after I learned to hold that third child like a football. I was good.
You were good.
I mean, I'm gonna take care of Mr. Taylor here.
All right. Okay, you're welcome. Yes. Okay. Okay, yes, I will address it. And see if you can get the pretrial officers in there.
Give me 2 seconds.
And Mr. Garhan, Robert Mauer, his client, is being brought over today at his request to see about election of punishment.
Okay, Judge.
And I know he said that he had a motion or something, a motion in limine.
I apologize for having to leave yesterday.
No, no problem.
Was interviewing another witness
Oh, no.
out of the field on that. Well, actually,
Yeah.
so it's been sort of a fun week and a half.
Oh, gosh, yeah. If only people knew it wasn't like Law and Order.
Yeah, there's like, I think it's anything is like little parts.
Yeah.
Just like that, but everything else is not.
You know, we ended up going, when I was traveling, we were on a trip with a nurse and her husband, who's a nurse. And then they were saying, hey, is what we see on television about attorneys, is that true? We're like, no. And then I said, so when someone is coding, do you all say stat? She's like, no, everybody's screaming, shouting, saying, get on your job now.
It's like everything like ER.
Yeah.
It's like, no.
Yeah. She's like, no.
Oh,
Yes. Ah, okay. So you can release him. Yes.
You know what?
Yes. Okay. So we should make sure they're here when there's a lot. Yeah, when it's like hundreds of people and then they can see it's. Because Bashar, now they're going to tell you, oh, this is so easy. Yeah, you just do one a day.
I'll ask for the file back there, and I'll ask the judge, and she'll be able to help you. You're welcome.
Thank you.
You want the date on here, Jeff? Is that what-
Yes, if you could file stamp it.
The file. Okay. Yes. Okay. It's today. Are you-
Thank you.
You're welcome. Just, you know, be very
Mhm.
talking about this.
All right, you're here on Tomas Silvas.
Yes, Judge, this case was set on April the 17th, Judge.
Mhm.
I'm having surgery on the 14th. I probably won't be able to be back till like later on in the week, maybe on Thursday or Friday or the following week.
Okay, wasn't Norma, is this a bond forfeiture on this defendant?
Let me just not do that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So she's gonna look.
The 17th.
Okay. All right, so what date are you requesting?
Later on the week or the next week, the following week. I should have surgery on 14th. I should be out and about by Wednesday or the following week, so maybe the following week, Judge, the 24th, maybe.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, are you able to put this on the 24th? Is that doable or another date? All right, so we'll reset it for
Thank you so
April
much, Your
24th.
Honor.
You're
And
welcome.
I'll let my client know.
All right, and your surgery is gonna go well. I know it is. Oh,
So if they say it's really fast outpatient,
oh, no, I've had family members to do that. And I've had some people who have been very young to have that done, like 30.
all my siblings are younger, so I don't have it, but I'm the only one that has to have it. And they said it takes 3 or 5 days for it to.
Yes,
be better.
but you need to follow those instructions for aftercare that they give you.
Not exert yourself, yeah,
No bending over too,
exactly. So
because I know someone who had it done. And I don't know, they did something they were not supposed to do. So they had to sleep face down and they had to get a special chair
thank you
to
for
sleep
the-
face down.
And I'm stubborn about stuff like that. You forget, we just do things just automatically.
And so they were saying, you know, I have to sleep face down because if I don't sleep face down, there'll be major pressure. And that only happened because they didn't follow the doctor's instructions. So when they say no heavy lifting, when they say don't do strain this, don't do that, when they
Exactly.
give you that patch and when they tell you to put the drops in at specific times, do it.
Religiously. And I hate thinking my eyes, like, I can't even do eye drops. Most of my eye drops fall.
Yeah. Or you're gonna have to do it. Otherwise, you'll be coming to court wearing a patch.
Yeah, don't want
I
to do
mean,
that.
people would say, an attorney with a patch, but I don't think you want that.
No, so ma'am, no, ma'am.
All right.
I'll take care of it. Thank you so
Okay,
much.
all right, we'll see you there.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I'll be back on that call with Japan.
Yeah. No, yeah. Yeah.
I am ready on. Can you tell the two numbers that are here? What times that happen to you? I work Christmas, I know. Now it's a new thing that we have. Everything very long there. All right. About the age of 48. 47, I still like big. 48 is kind of like a downfall.
All right, the court is calling 2022 CR 9434 State of Texas versus Herbert King. Can our parties approach and announce for the record? I think this is this family violence?
Okay, no, Judge, I believe it's ours.
Okay.
I'm ready.
All right.
Monica Guerrero for Mr. Herbert King, we're ready, Your Honor.
Jason Garahan for the state, Your Honor.
Are you Mr. King?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you entered a plea on January 10th of no contest. You applied for deferred adjudication. The state was waiving the enhancement paragraph without objection. According to the plea bargaining agreement, punishment is to be assessed at 5 years in the prison. The state is silent on your application. Have both parties had a chance to review the PSI report?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, off the record for one moment, please. Ms. Flores?
Yes, good morning, Judge.
Good morning. If you could give us maybe 10 minutes because I'm in a hearing, but then I'll take your matter up right after this.
Okay,
And the-
not a problem.
All right, and you have the violation report for Lucio Roa?
Yes, correct.
All right, so that's what I'll be talking to you about.
Okay, sounds
So I'll
great.
place you in the waiting room and then bring you back.
Okay, thank you.
All right, have both parties had a chance to review the PSI report? State,
Yes, Your Honor.
defense,
Yes, Your Honor.
any objections? State,
Not from the state, Your Honor.
defense.
No, Your Honor.
All right, the state is silent. Defense, any witnesses?
No, Judge, I just have Mr. King.
All right, the court will hear argument.
On behalf of my client, Judge, if you notice from the PSI, it's been a long time since he's had any type of problem. And he hasn't had drug issues in several years. He's been gainfully employed at gyms and he's dressed to go back to work as soon as this case is done. Because he really feels that he could be a productive member of society. He is looking forward to trying to get his CDL license. He says you can drug test him, nail bed test him, hair follicle test him. He has been clean for several years. And this night he was going to his girlfriend's house and he didn't know that she had a new boyfriend. So I'm asking the court to consider putting him on probation or deferred adjudication. The deferred would give him a giant hammer over his head of 20 years if he violated any of the conditions. If he gets the probation, he says he can complete every term satisfactorily, and he's happy to go to any of the recommendations at the top evaluation.
All right, so this is the court's issue. And Mr. King, I'm strongly thinking of sending you to prison. I've read the PSI report and I read the stipulations. And somebody needs to explain to me why I shouldn't send you to prison, because from what I read in the stipulations, she's saying that she's your ex-fiance, that you were calling her, as she says, blowing up her phone, calling her, asking her where she was. And then she says that he was looking for her to find this boyfriend that he was dating, that she was dating. And then she left her apartment door open and he went into the apartment door. And then he beats up the boyfriend who he said he was dozing off on the couch or something. So that's what I have before me. And it's been stipulated to. So counsel, now you're saying it's something different, but that's not what's in the steps.
Mr. King would like to address the court.
All right, can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Herbert King.
All right, any questions?
He would like to just explain to you to answer your questions.
Okay.
Miss Kiki Davis, says that I kept blowing up her phone. That's a lie. Miss Kiki is still contacting me or trying to contact me on a constant basis. Where I stay at, they know the whole situation. So they advised me to not be in contact with her. She literally came to my new job before and asked somebody to have me to step out, and I wouldn't step out. So she's constantly bothering me, wanting money from me, wanting me to go take care of her dog that we bought, like telling me she's not with this guy. And with the thing with the guy, he had been harassing me for months, picking on me. When I went to her house, all I did was go to pick up my car that she told me to come pick up. My sister couldn't be in court with me today. My sister is a witness to it. My sister told me not to go. And I was like, I'm just going to pick up the car. She's not going to do nothing wrong to me. And I just went to pick up my car, then my money from work comes on.
So how did this result in an
Well,
altercation
I
with
was
this guy?
standing- I was standing out talking to her at the car. And at the time I was talking to her at the car, he came out behind me. I had my back turned and he tried to stab me with a box cutter. And of course, I'm a man, I'm gonna turn around and fight. I'm not gonna let you just stab me. And it's funny to him now. He done called me on numerous occasions since I've been out on bond. I called the police. The police basically told me he can call me at any point he wants to, but I can't call him.
Where's the proof that he called you?
Miss Kiki Davis pops up in my house one day when I wasn't there.
No, you're skipping over my question. My question is,
I had
where's,
a phone with all my information in it that when I went to jail, I went and got it. I tried to give it to my previous lawyer. She kept blowing it off, blowing it off, blowing it off. I can't get it now. The court has to ask for it. And one day when I was at work, Miss Kiki Davis came to my house, told him she was getting some property that belonged to her. My friend doesn't like problems at his house. He tries to give her the phone or whatever she was in there trying to get, and my phone and stuff came up missing. But I'm not bothering anybody.
well, no, see, here's the thing. The stipulations say something completely different than what you're telling me. The stipulations say that her boyfriend or fiance, whomever he may be, was inside the apartment and that you beat him up inside the apartment. You're saying that she's come to your job since. Where's the proof of that? Because the stipulations say something different. Then you're saying that he is calling you. Where is the proof of that?
He's called me. I called the police. I made police reports on it, and they gave me a little paper. I don't know where the paper went.
Oh, once a police report is made, it should be in the system.
And the police basically told me he couldn't really file a report because the thing was against me, not against him. So he can call me at any point that he wants to.
All right. So counsel, this is Mr. King's story. Right now, I'm leaning towards sending him to prison, but if there's something that's produced to the court that this complainant in this case has been calling him well, I would say because his ex-fiance, the fact that she's going to his job, if he wants to bring in information or somebody who knows of that, I will listen to that. But most importantly for the court, because this is really a case against her boyfriend, I want to know if the boyfriend has been contacting him as he says he has, and some proof of that. Because otherwise, I'm leaning towards sending you to prison because this is a serious case. And based upon the stipulations, and your attorney will tell you, I always read the stipulations and I always read the PSI report. And I know in the PSI report, nobody's been able to get in touch with the complainant, but your client is saying that he's been calling him. There should be some record of that.
Okay. How much time can you give me? Because I would have to contact the police department and get a copy of the report. And then see if, I don't know about a phone being properly.
It was a different phone. I don't know.
But if there's a more recent phone, I can try to find messages or things like that and see if I can bring in somebody from his job to come in.
All right.
That's fine.
And State, I know you're silent on this, but I would really like to hear from this complainant.
Yes, Judge.
All right, so how much time are you asking for?
Can I get one?
Yes. All right, Ms. Ferguson on Mr. King, can we recall this for 1 month, please? No, put it, can you put it on like maybe the 24th, because that's when I can hear it.
Okay.
So we'll come back on April 24th. And I will remember this conversation, but so everybody else can remember it, I will write on the docketing sheet what I'm asking for. And what I'm asking for is your ex-fiance coming to your job. That's great. If you want to bring somebody in and say that she's coming to the job, that's something for me to consider. But what I really want is I want this information about the boyfriend who may or may not still be her boyfriend. I want information that he is actually been calling him and state if he can come in. Yes.
He actually, she has problems with all men that she's with. He actually beat her up 2 weeks after I was out of jail.
Oh, well, see, here's the
So-
thing. That's if you
Yeah, that's what I'm saying is,
if you want to bring a police report on that too, you're more than welcome to bring a police report on that.
I will see what I can get you.
All right, but I just want everyone to know what I want.
yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, Ms. Ferguson, we'll give you a reset form and it will be at, let's set it for at 11.
Okay. Judge, on this case, I did not have an investigator appointed. Can I get an investigator for a short amount of time to find those records for me?
Yes.
Okay.
And counsel, if you, because I know you haven't filed a motion yet, if you just get the investigator and then you can bring the motion in and the court will sign it. That way it can start immediately.
I'd like to do that.
All right, and do you need a do you have a copy of the police report or do you need it for the complainant's information?
I have the discovery. So, but I don't know how contemporaneous that would be in terms of getting her phone number because he says it's changed.
Okay.
But let me see what I can bring in to show further proof of what he's telling me.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I'll talk to you more in a minute.
Oh, you talk to me.
Here's that.
Judge, can I approach?
Sure, just 1 second. Yes.
We had filed a motion to have his monitor changed to tracking only.
Okay.
He wants to know if you'll do that today.
All right, if you'll confer with the state and see if they have any objections to that. All right, yes.
Yes, I'm filling in for Jaime, Rosales, I believe. And my, the client is Leonardo Ruiz.
Okay.
It was a motion for continuance that was filed without notary signature.
Yes.
He is, the attorney's in South Africa, I believe.
All right, if you'll give me 1 second, let me take care of the person who's on Zoom and then I'll take this matter up. All right, thank you. All right, Lucio Roa. Come forward. All right, and Norma, on Joseph Stateson, do you know if he's in the building?
I don't.
Because that's the attorney who's on this. So we have an issue with you.
Yeah, right, there is an issue.
Yes.
A lot of miscommunication going on.
Well, we're gonna communicate clearly.
I hope so.
Yes. So why don't you have ignition interlock?
I just came back from work. I just flew in last night.
All right, and where is work?
I'm out of rig. So I'm gone 28, 30, 40 days at a time. So
All right, well, you need ignition interlock. Do you have a vehicle?
yes, and it's in my garage most of the time.
So how did you get to court today?
My fiance drove.
Where's your fiance? Hello. All right, so you're gonna he needs ignition and interlock on his vehicle. You're gonna have to get ignition interlock. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and this is your pretrial services officer. Do you have your phone with you?
Yes.
Are you able to Zoom on your phone?
Yeah, I can download that app.
All right, so let's download the app. I'm gonna put you in the breakout room with your officer
Okay.
so you can talk to her. So download the app. Once you download the app, we're gonna give you the Zoom link. And
Okay.
then I'm gonna put you in a breakout room with your officer and you need to get her contact information and you need to report. Otherwise, a warrant's gonna be issued. You understand?
That's Miss Vanessa, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
This morning.
And I actually was gonna send her a text because we've been playing like phone tag or emails. I don't have internet out there.
Okay, no, I understand, but we're gonna take care of it today,
No,
okay?
definitely. That'd be great.
All right, so yeah, download the app now and we're gonna take care of this today.
Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
All right, thank you. So let me know when you've downloaded the app, okay?
Most definitely.
All right. So Ms. Flores, if you can remain on the Zoom and he's gonna
Okay.
meet you in the breakout room.
Okay, that's fine.
All right, thank
Okay.
you.
Mhm.
Mr. Garrett has a phone.
All right, so what does he do now? Is he allowed to go? He goes to work,
Goes
correct?
to work from home.
All right. Have there been any issues with the GPS?
Not that I'm aware of. I've not gotten any reports on him.
All
I
right.
was not the attorney before. But
Oh.
since I've had him, he's had no issues.
All right, so counsel, this is what the court will do. If you are able to represent to the court, and I know you'll have to look into it, whether or not he's had any violation. If he's had no violations, then what I will do is I will allow him some leeway other than work. For example, his personal needs, like if he needs to go to the grocery store or something like that, and I'll give him a window where he can go to the grocery store, go to a restaurant or something of that nature.
Do you want me to submit an order or do you just want to write it on the docket sheet?
Well, if you can present to the court,
I can have him testify under oath that he's had no violations and I've received nothing.
no, that's his testimony is not good enough for the court. But I will tell you this, the clerk is in the back and the clerk will be able to tell you if there have been any violations, because I would have received it. Counsel. Ms. Fernandez.
Yes, I'm
Yes.
sorry, Judge.
All right, so your client is,
Mr. Luis, I'm just stepping in for. Rosales.
all right, and Leonardo Rosales Ruiz. All right, and
Spanish speaker, Judge.
Norma, can you have a interpreter come down? And who is the state on this case? All right, so my understanding is defense counsel is going to tell me that the attorney is in Colombia,
South America.
South America. So we don't know where. What's he doing in South America? Where?
He travels a lot. That's what I know. That's all I know.
Enjoying life. And we're here and you're being brought down. All right, so there are two things, and I'll put this on the record once the interpreter comes down. Number one, the motion for continuance is not in proper form because it's not sworn to. Are you going to have an objection to that?
No objection.
Okay. And then the other thing, it doesn't say anything really. It doesn't tell me anything for this motion for continuance. So do you know when he's going to be back?
I do not, Judge.
All right, because all it's saying is parties agree that a continuance is needed to allow all parties to become familiarized with the case. And this case is from 2022. Everybody should be familiarized with this case.
Agreed. I
So,
would say a month if we can.
okay. So once the interpreter comes down, we'll take care of it. All right, thank you. Yes. How you doing? Great.
got, this was on Jose Cavazos that we heard last week that, August is.
Yes.
We needed to get an investigator, so we get that bucket squad, and so I prepared, motion or, and so once he got signed off on it this morning. Once we basically on agreement on it. So we get that guy.
So what funding are you asking for?
I don't know. You gotta get.
Okay, well, if you will just let the court know, I'll grant it. And of course, it needs to be done. And the DNA testing needs to be done because if it turns out that he's innocent, we want to make sure that everything is taken care of.
What I'm gonna try and do is contact the investigator. That's why I don't have so many names in there.
Mhm.
The investigator actually in El Paso. And then we can do the chain of FedEx.
Okay. Okay.
So hopefully,
Okay. Well, this case
as soon as
is,
I've got a number on it.
okay, well, this case is from 2010. That was before my time, but we're gonna make sure everything is corrected if it needs to be. Sure,
He's on the out. He's
doing well.
doing okay. He's trying to get this negotiate this live.
Mhm.
Kind of charge.
Mhm. Okay, awesome. All right, you're welcome.
Make a copy.
Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, which court is that? Ah. All right, Ms. Flores, the Samsung is connecting. And then Norma, if you could see, where did Greg Damaris go?
I don't know, we went back to choice.
Well, tell him we have our, oh, he's outside?
Yes, I asked him because it's gonna echo if it stays in there.
No, I'm talking about the attorney Greg Damaris. All right, it is slowly connecting to audio. And then Norma, if you can have the other parties here so that we can get our cases done this morning.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Yes,
I spoke with Miss Karen Elizondo, the court clerk. She reviewed all of the criminal history on the sieges, and she says there have been no violations pre-trial at all.
all right. Well, if you want to discuss with your client, what day he would like to have extra time.
Can you come up here and ask?
Yes.
Okay.
So oh, okay. No, I'm not going to remove the GPS tracking. So you're going to be allowed still to go to work, but I'll give you one day out of the week where you can have some extra time that's maybe outside of work hours for you to go to certain places, but there'll still be a no contact order in place with the ex and the complainant.
Yes, ma'am, that's fine.
So what, you need to tell me what day of the week.
Sunday, that way I can go to church.
All right, state, Mr. Gerhan. Sorry. So he's still going to be on partial, yeah, for work, but I'm going to give him an extra time on Sunday. So what type of curfew do you all want on Sunday?
Well, church apparently lasts a while, so.
Which church is it? Is it Baptist church?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so that I know.
So if we can have.
It does.
It does. If we can.
Well,
have-
do you know?
I do, because
You belong to the Baptist church?
I do not, I'm Catholic, but.
Yeah.
I've gone to different events and funerals, et cetera.
Well, as long
It
as
just
it's,
takes a bit.
now is it the pastor's anniversary? That's till 8 at night. So, but Sean, you know, right? Yeah. So, but nobody is allowed to leave for the games on Sunday because, yeah. So how much time are you asking for on Sunday?
Just because I work Sunday night, so I'm just trying to get out Sunday morning just to be able to go to church.
Well, I mean, you got to give me some time. So like, when does service begin? Are you going to Sunday school? Okay, so,
I
so,
always get a whooping when I go to Sunday school.
all right, so,
From about 8 to 12.
8 a.m. to 12 p.m.? All right. So are you gonna be do you need to be someplace at 8 a.m.?
No, this church.
All right. So then, since you're saying 8 a.m. to 12 p.m., I'll give you 7:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. on Sundays. And counsel, if you could go in the back and have them print me a B page, I'll write that down. State, are you okay with that?
Yes, yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
She can go to the restroom, she'll be right back. I'm just have to know.
And Bashan, of course, if it's revival, you know, my mom, you know, for me, we had revival and my mom had to work. And where I was being baptized was in Grand Canyon, Louisiana. And you know, revival is all week and it lasted the Sunday. So she'd get off work, drive me to going the speed limit, drive me to Grand Canyon, and then you're there till late in the night. So, oh, counsel, that's the interpreter.
Setting.
Okay, thank you. But I enjoyed revival. Those are the good days. But Sean, they don't baptize people in the creek anymore. They get a nice pool. I got a creek. We had to dodge over cow patties.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, because I mean, there were cows out there and you're dodging over it.
That you wanted to be.
Yes.
Your adopted call, I saw your name on adopted call. Yeah, it should be the options to be lead without being adopted call. And she'll give you 2 continuances. And then the third one, she's gonna tell you about. And after that, you're on your own thing.
Oh, just to the clerk in the back and let them put it in a system. And if you want a copy of it,
Okay. After
For
that,
you.
a big speech.
yes. And if you want a copy of it for your client.
If we go to Resurrection Baptist,
Mhm.
church,
Yes.
and they have this beautiful pool for, it's a clear glass.
Yes.
And it's 360 video camera, so everyone can get a good view of you.
Oh my gosh. Well, you know, I can't swim. So we end up going to the creek and, you know, everybody's singing. So we get to the creek and it's the pastor and my aunt's husband.
Mhm.
And my mom said, if you all let my baby drown. And they're like, no, we got her, we got her. And they're like, Stephanie, take a deep breath before we put you under. And even though my eyes were closed, I could swear I could see underneath the water and it was clear. Then we came up and we were done. The only person in our family, well, I say immediate family, who was actually baptized in a pool inside was my younger brother. Everybody else to the creek. And even though you were dodging cow patties, it still smelled nice because, you know, the flowers were blooming and everything.
Beautiful, it's a good memory.
Yeah. And the sun shining. Yeah, it is. We will still drive down to Grand Canyon, Louisiana sometimes. Creek's still there. Yeah. So it's awesome. Aw, let's bring back memories. Sure. And then counsel, when you're all ready on Ruiz, just let me know.
Counsel, Mr. Castillo, yesterday.
Okay.
He got hired in this case.
Mhm.
This is a case that's a clear supplement grade. Yeah.
Mhm. Okay.
He turned himself in yesterday.
Mhm.
Turned himself. The magistrate gave him $100,000.
Mhm.
Trying to get that bond reduced so he can try. He's been working for years.
Okay, so what I can do, because it's pre-indictment,
Right.
I can send it to Judge Nahara and it'll be done immediately.
Okay,
All right, so just talk with Ms. Ferguson
okay.
and they'll take care of it. And did you confer with the state? Because I don't know if they want to actually be there or either be another prosecutor.
That's not, Jason and I were talking about this, based on just the information we've got right now, you can't read anything. So
Yeah.
it's like, they'd be opposed.
That one, Judge, we don't have anything as in, police report. We just have pictures and body cam. So I was telling Ms. McLean that we just can't agree to anything at this point.
All right, so if you want to have Judge Nahara hear it, then he can hear it. And I believe since it's pre-indictment, there'll be a different prosecutor.
Not a problem.
Oh, they'll probably call me.
They will.
I was there the other day.
You're multitasking.
I'll take. Thank you.
All right, sure.
How they got my direct number and I was like, how does that?
Oh my gosh. You ready?
All process.
All right, if you all can come forward on Leonardo Rosales Ruiz.
Okay,
Are you ready?
Yes, so she's got one motion.
Section C. The motion to reduce the bond, I did it previous just in case that was sufficient. The modification we need to try.
Hi. All right.
Good. I'm checking.
Oh, no problem.
Okay, perfect. So thank you. I appreciate you.
All right, court is calling 2022 CR 8189 and 2022 CR 5001, State of Texas versus Leonardo Rosales Ruiz. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state
Ruben Herrera for the state.
defense?
Marissa Fernandez Pratt from Mr. Reese.
All right, and we have an interpreter here. If you could raise your right hand for me, please. Do you solemnly swear and affirm you will faithfully translate from English into Spanish and Spanish into English, so help you God?
I do, Your Honor.
All right, you can lower your hand. If you could state your name for the record.
Cesar Chavez, Your Honor, license number 2203.
All right, thank you. And are you Leonardo Rosales Ruiz?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
All right, so the court is in receipt of a motion for continuance. The motion for continuance is not notarized. State any objections to the motion for continuance not being notarized?
No objections, Your Honor.
All right. And Mr. Ruiz, Ms. Fernandez is standing in for your attorney. Do you have any objections to Ms. Fernandez standing in for your attorney for this hearing?
You know. What do you mean, do I have any?
Are you okay with us proceeding with Ms. Fernandez?
Yes.
All right, Ms. Fernandez?
Yes, Your Honor, we're just asking for a brief 30-day continuance until Mr. Perales can return back to the country and prepare.
All right, and where is Mr. Perales?
My understanding is that he's in South America. And I don't have specifics. I did.
Just traveling while we're here working.
Yes.
All right, State, do you know how long a jury trial would take in this case?
Judge, I believe this case would last about 3 to 4 days.
Okay. And I'm assuming you will be proceeding on the second degree felony?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Ferguson,
Yes, ma'am.
on this case, I need a jury trial date.
May 23rd.
All right, so this will be his jury trial date and plea deadline date. It will be May 23rd. And no further continuances will be considered if it's not in the proper format or if it doesn't tell me what it's about, because the continuance doesn't tell me anything. Okay.
Understood.
All right, thank you. Ms. Ferguson will give you your reset form.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
think he's a lot like,
Mhm. Oh, Richard, he travels a lot. Maybe he and Richard have bumped into each other. We ended up, my friend and I, we ended up traveling and we bumped into Richard. And we're like, where are you going? And he told us he was running with the bulls. And the first day of running with the bulls, he said he overslept. And so, of course, my mom knows Richard and she's like, I have to pray for Richard all the time because he's always doing dangerous thing when he travels. So, oh.
Did you miss the bulls?
Oh, no. I said, my mom was like so happy. And then I said, Mom, you still need to pray for him. She's like, why? I said, he said he's going to make sure he's up on time to run the next day, but he survived. I'm not going to do that, although I think it would be exciting, but I'm not doing it.
did La Tomatia, which is the throwing of the tomatoes.
Oh, how was that?
No, it's just you are in this small alley for hours
Mhm.
in a bathroom.
Oh,
And when the tomato trucks come in, everyone gets really squished and goes.
they do?
Fun.
So they're not the soft tomatoes. Oh my God. Are any of them green?
No, they're not squished already and they're full and hard. I had to wear goggles.
Oh my gosh.
Think about all that fluid.
And so when you're drenched in tomatoes, what do? You just walk back to your hotel or?
Buses, they wash you off before you get into the bus.
Oh, they do with water hoses? Oh my gosh. Should I experience that or just experiencing it through you is enough?
Like not in the middle. Get in the middle, it's too.
I'm sorry, Jay.
So
I'm
if
sorry,
you
keep
get
bothering
it, take a spot on the edge to where you can like run away.
You know what? I seen some people do, I forget what it's called in India where they bathe you in the color. I think that would be fun, but then I'm like, where do you wash all of that off?
Yeah.
And what if it gets in your ears or something?
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell me you took photos.
I did.
Okay, so you have to show me the photo.
It's because, you know, and you don't want anything to get bad, you know.
You have to show me the photos. No. How are the babies?
I just got a call, a text from the school, the littlest one is. She's 3.
Oh,
So she's coming that day, I guess we're gonna.
oh, okay. Yeah,
Good today.
yeah.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Have a good one.
Bye-bye.
I've got a station where all that stuff. Where you. No. You want old case number or BHR?
Yes, Norma, can you call Greg?
Yes, ma'am.
So they can take care of his case? And where is Warren Wolf?
They're doing free paperwork, Judge.
Okay. And then we need Ed Bartholomew. Juan Aguilera
Marsh.
and Anita Garza. So Anita Garza, her client called the MAC. Hi, how's it going? Everyone is wearing blue today.
Just feels like one of those days.
It's one of those days.
Are you wearing blue?
No, Well, I mean, there's blue in the pen. But it was cold outside today for spring.
This is kind of one of my more wintry,
Mhm.
fall, winter sort of.
But everybody was telling me it's supposed to be 91 degrees this weekend.
Yeah.
You have to take a file from the box.
Excuse me, Counsel, while you go back there, if you can have him to bring this file as well. Thank you. And John, I think everybody's March Madness bracket was utterly destroyed. And you know, if I would have done that,
The ladies final. Yeah.
you know what, if I would have done March Madness this year, I would have done very well with the brackets because I like to pick the underdogs. And some of these I would have picked. But it's a sad day in Texas.
Yeah, but they've got some good recruits for next year. I mean, that coach did a great job.
Oh, he
Taking
did.
over, you know, in the middle of the season after the turmoil and stuff,
Mhm.
so.
But you know what? I would have picked San Diego State as my, dark horse, so they say.
Funny. That's funny.
But yeah, look at this. Miami, Florida, San Diego State, Florida Atlantic. Okay, I'm rooting for Florida Atlantic
Right, of
because
course. Right, that's a small bit school.
well, it's small. It's like you go Florida,
Right,
Atlantic,
awesome.
and UConn is back in the mix.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'm on the panel. Get back.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Hello, Ms. Flores. So were you able to speak with him?
Yes, I did talk to him and then he's free to go on my part. He already has all the information to get that device installed.
All right, thank you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give him 7 days.
Okay.
And we will see how it goes.
Okay, not a problem.
All right, and you have his new address and everything, correct?
Yes, correct. I have I have all his updated information.
All right, and if you could do one check to make sure that they actually have, not a lot of cars there that don't have ignition interlock, to make sure that they have ignition interlock on the cars that are at the location.
Yes, I'll do that.
All right, thank you so much. Have a great one. Thanks for.
Not a problem. You
popping
too.
in.
Thank you. Bye.
Just let me take this real quick. Mr. Lucio,
Ma'am?
my understanding is that you've talked to the pretrial services officer. Yes. So I'm going to give you 7 days to get that done, okay?
Okay, that's fine. I spoke to her and She also advised me to speak to my attorney and whatnot
Yes.
and follow through and see what we can do.
All right, do you have your attorney's information?
Yes,
And right now, Norma, what court is this attorney in?
186.
All right, your attorney is currently in the 186th District Court.
okay.
If you want to stop by there, you should be able to see him.
Where is that at?
Third floor.
Downstairs.
Yes, one floor down.
Okay.
But he is actually advising a witness, but he may be able to speak with you.
Okay,
All right, and that way you'll have his information and make sure you give him his new information. And we'll make sure your new address is put in the system because this is where the mail is going to be sent.
yes, that was a lifesaver.
All right. Thank you.
Thank
Have a
you,
good
ma'am.
one.
You too.
You're excused.
Thank you.
Yes.
I think that she's ill. And we said it.
All right, so when
Let me give her a phone.
is she going to be available?
Okay.
And who was the other attorney who wanted to approach?
You can go back.
I'm here on the consultations, maybe if you look in the policies.
Have you conferred with the state?
I'm not like, anything about it. I'm using titles.
No, yeah, you can confirm him with them about a bond.
Thank you for letting me know, I appreciate it.
And Judge, you're talking about a few minutes, he's doing a plea on December.
Okay.
Okay, Jason.
I'm on. We're outside, they got court. We're getting a paper, I'm gonna go check in. I like to hurt me. Yep. To be my bag, that's what.
I just wanted to coordinate for the 187. I got your email. That you sent. Greg.
Yes.
Put it underneath that.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Got an accurate now.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
Read that knowledge.
Yes.
She's on her way, but she's popping off. So she's in. She's going to school.
Okay, why doesn't she do it by Zoom? I don't understand that.
Oh, no.
And,
Hey. Good morning.
How you doing this morning? Guy who lives in Laredo. I think I remember hearing the judge maybe say that you might be able to appear via Zoom.
I don't know. You would have to profile. Profile me to the email.
Oh. Okay, so go to the back and get the file, bring it back in.
I wish I had a green screen. To get you email. I said, I wish I had another. I'm gonna get you details. You are all talking to the. No. Oh, yeah, you can do that. You could shake it, try again later, and shake it again. No. No, you- let me get you. Yeah, no, tell you about it. Yeah, I'm here for the walk. No, first of all, I'm trying to get your names. That is gonna start. Huh? I know what it is. Okay.
That's the only new case, yes. That's how to violate. You want me to approach the judge? Yeah, we hadn't approached her yet on it. I'll see.
Yes, those are done. Yes.
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning,
How are
I'm
you
Del
doing?
Toro. Oh, I'm doing great.
Good. I have a client that he's set on the docket for tomorrow, Judge. He lives in Laredo. It's a special crimes case or whatever. It's I guess their division is handling it. Denise.
Yes.
I've been in contact with her and I'm providing her some documentation that she wanted. And I was seeing if it was possible, if my client could appear via Zoom. I think maybe I'd heard you maybe say that would be a possibility for some defendants.
Yes.
And it's set for tomorrow. We were gonna ask for some more time.
All right, your client can appear by Zoom.
Thank you, Judge. Will Norma give me the Zoom info or?
Yes,
Okay. Thank you, Judge.
you're welcome.
I'll be here though in person, but he'll be.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yes, that's
Okay.
fine. And state, I'm assuming you have no objection to the client appearing by Zoom for a plea deadline date? Okay.
Better not, Judge. I guess we'll just get an email with that.
Later on this afternoon.
Cool. Okay, thank you guys. I appreciate it. Yeah. Yeah. A little different, but that's right.
Hello?
Thanks, Joe. I'm saying to let's say that. One quickly.
Right.
On the addition of this 24, it says GPS program. When was you guys do that?
You'll have to ask the clerk, but it's in the system.
Yeah, no, it's those cases. Okay. Your recommendation. Okay.
And is your client in custody?
He is, Judge.
All right, so Ms. Ferguson. Counsel, if you file a motion for bond,
I would,
and we'll have him brought over tomorrow to have this heard on his motion for a bond.
I can follow writ, Judge, certainly. I
Okay,
mean, he's on deferred, he's entitled to one.
well, see, everybody always says people are entitled to a bond on deferred adjudication. There are certain exceptions to that. And I don't think people ever read that part. But just file the motion and the court will hear it.
I'm actually not available. Can do it on Monday.
Okay, just like Ms. Ferguson.
Yeah, I just,
Okay, no
I
problem.
just thought about that, so I just. didn't-
Okay,
Trying not to
whenever,
overpromise.
yeah, whenever you're available, just let us know and we'll take it up.
Oh, okay. You, there's a BF out for him. You want, you didn't. Right, because it's on Pierce. Monday, you want to not? I guess, yeah, I should publicly. The GPS with the lines. Kind of right there. Yeah.
Brandon Goose, do you have the Brandon Goose on file?
No, it's still in the back.
Okay.
Yes. Excuse me. There's to be no profanity in this court. Are we not professionals? And we require that everybody treat everybody with respect. I will not have, especially attorneys, using profanity towards each other. We are not at a bar. This is not a club. And even at clubs and at bars, people need to be respectful of each other. I'm not having it. And there are people who are in custody who are watching what we do, and we need to behave professionally.
Sorry, I'm not feeling well.
Yeah, but that doesn't, here's the thing. That does not excuse using profanity against your colleagues or profanity against anyone. If you need to step outside and take a break and take a brief, deep breath, you can. If people want to apologize to people, which they should, then that's where we need to go. When people are having stressful days, take a break outside, take a deep breath. This is a short problem that people may be having. People may be under stressors like everybody is. But if we treat everybody with kindness, our day will go better.
Can you tell me my guy has an immigration? Yes, what? It's an immigration.
No.
No, you're welcome. Thank you.
Bye, Judge.
Goodbye, have a good one. We'll see how LSU does.
That's what I'm just asking. No, but there's no, we don't have it, so. We've got 4 years. You got it deferred on the end. Oh, okay. She said she was here today too. Yeah, she was like, I'm not gonna. Stop going on my phone. You know what I mean? Like, that's what's frustrating for me, you know, but like, just don't bother me. You know what I mean? Yeah. You know. Joseph said he'll be here. Yeah. He said in 15 minutes.
Okay.
The backward, right, the backwards, no.
Joseph, okay. Yes.
May I borrow the file on Revocation?
Arocha, hi. Okay, Deputy Laura, everybody is wearing blue ties today. Oh, Mr. Porter, I know everybody's wearing blue today.
Bring the color to my face. I'm so freaking tired.
All right, I will be right back.
Yeah, it's.
Mr. Joseph.
Mhm.
Yes, sir. Ended up dismissing. Is he, did he show up? Yeah. I'm ignoring him. No, I'm ignoring him. I just got a check in my fit. I need to
You're
go check
checking
that.
Okay.
Coles, Drews.
So are you, I guess you're getting ready to enjoy being on a jury and being perhaps selected?
I am so excited. I'm jury number 6.
Ah,
So I'm asking them not to do a jury shuffle. I want to be up front.
well, you know, usually they do a jury shuffle. You only end up, probably you'll be
That's
either
true.
7 or 8.
That's true. But I'm going to be fair and impartial.
There you go.
I want to see the inner workings of the jury. I want to see what we think makes a difference. Let's see what this.
Yeah. It would be nice if you could have cameras so you can see the
Exactly.
conversations
Exactly.
and you can learn what you thought was a big to do about the case is really not a big to do.
Exactly. Did you remember when we try and we go back and talk to the juries? They want to go home. They're like, some talk to you, but it'd be like, hey, remember when this happened? No, I didn't. But I can pick it up like a lot about that. Of
Yeah,
course, we're not going to see everything.
no.
Do we like Joseph Acevedo? That interview?
Okay, I'm telling you, everybody has on blue today. Some form of blue.
Form of blue. Trying to think why.
Yes, that's blue. I know you're colorblind, but that's blue.
That's because he's worn green for the rest of his life. My brother is in Northern Ireland right now.
Oh, wow. I want to get to Ireland at least once.
Thank you. What I not say? I would love to.
And I want to go back to Scotland. They say the hills are beautiful because I went in October, but they say you should come during the spring or summertime because all of the, I guess their mountains are covered in heather.
I would love to see that. I can honestly say I haven't been overseas. Well, they have my daughter's been to South Korea, has been to
You should go.
Budapest, been to Austria. I know.
It is so interesting. And you know, I used to do international CLEs
Yes.
and their systems is so different.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, when I was in Scotland, they were getting ready to change the double jeopardy rule. You know why?
Why?
Because a guy was found not guilty. And then he went on the door, you know, the steps of the court and said, I did it.
Oh, my God. So they decided to change it, but it can't be retroactively applied.
No, that's what they were looking at doing. And I think they were looking at changing, allowing a person to be retried if there was new evidence or something.
That's interesting. That's new
Another
evidence.
blue.
Well, the blue. You know, that's not the problem. The problem is in my competence.
Solely on that. I'll take it. I won't strike.
You won't strike, Greg.
I won't strike.
Don't strike me.
I won't strike.
Colorado, are you kidding me? Cornelius knows more about Colorado than I do.
Recruiting?
We are recruiting. They're taking all the Florida players and LSU, so.
Oh, do not.
But
Since you've been hired, this is the first thing.
everything. I'm gonna have to say, everything that's glitter is gold.
There you go.
I know.
Prime time. Everything.
We don't have an oil well.
Issue is gonna be, can he coach?
Yeah.
He can talk. Can't coach.
Yes. Well, I think they did an interview with him and Greg. They did an interview with Dion, and you know what he said?
What do you say?
He said, everybody, you don't get single digit numbers just because you want them. He's like, I see people wearing a number 1 and
Oh,
you don't
yes.
play. He's like,
Yes.
no, you got to earn your spot.
You got to earn it. Those numbers. Well, that's why I like the 210s, and that's kind of a good idea. But those guys are superstar captains.
If they were basing on numbers, like the lower your number, the better you are. My jersey wouldn't even have a number on it.
Just find it something.
Yours was what?
Minus.
Minus.
5 is a good number.
You know, I happen to be at TD Jakes visiting one with Pete. Neon.
Okay.
Dressed in a white suit.
What was that, recently?
The nineties.
And also.
Oh, in the nineties, yeah, it's been there for a while.
You gotta get them double dipped here.
No, I was there.
I'm telling you, you gotta get re-dipped. You know, sometimes that you can't dip them once, you gotta get dipped twice.
In the Bible. Like born again. Not just in the water. Yeah.
Everybody's coming here with biblical references today.
What we can't do, this, so I know. I realize that we can't. I can say.
Oh,
practice,
ask
but I can't do this.
Ask Bashan. Turn around and show that to Bashan.
Remember the guy?
Yes.
I'm working on something.
Well, you know what, Cornelius, you are my movie buff person. Did you ever see the Western A Minute to Pray, A Second to Die? With John Philip Law and Lee Van Cleef? You need to watch that movie. It's one of those spaghetti westerns.
I was talking to.
Just made so.
Actually, Judge, have you ever seen? That's the one out of Texas.
I did.
Well, let me just tell you this. Judge Edith Brown, you know what she has not seen? She has not seen Once Upon a Time in the West. And she did not get the reference that I made to Warriors. She hasn't seen the Warriors.
The Warriors?
You have
The Warriors. That's.
Yes, I do. Yeah.
I'm almost done.
Okay. All right, thanks.
All you others.
Well, you know, I was telling her that John Wick 4 has a reference to the Warriors in it.
Oh, yeah. He's fighting his way out.
Yes, yes, I
I'm gonna go-
did.
If I can get out of jury, I'm gonna go see him.
Oh, it's awesome. Yes.
Oh, you're.
And
That's the bomb.
she had no idea what I was talking about because she's never seen it.
You might have about it when you saw it.
Oh, awesome. Deputy, Laura, do you know if Robert Mauer's client has made it yet? Do you know if Robert Mauer's client, Mr. Guzman, has made it yet? Okay, they're gonna check Mr. Mauer.
And I'm across the hall, so I can go back over whatever.
Okay.
Alonzo.
Hi.
I'm getting called by the jury. This is great.
Thank you so much.
Hello? Yes.
Okay, oh, no problem.
Okay, so they are they're going into the courtroom. Okay, I'll be right there. I'm in the 187. Judge, if you don't mind.
Yes.
Do this plea. They're just telling me that the jury's lining up to go into Judge Skinner's court. So.
Okay, tell them like 2 seconds.
Oh, I know. I'm staying here.
Oh, thank you so much. Yes.
I've already been yelled at once today.
All right.
They were lining up outside the elevator and I was.
And Norma, can you let them know an impact that we will send Mr. Demare down quickly?
I'm on the jury panel in county in Melissa Skinner. It's family violence impact. Okay. Sorry, I just got a call from the jury.
Oh, no problem.
They're already yelling. No, Judge, I appreciate it. I'm sorry. I've been jury duty 25 years, been 4 or 5 times. I've never even been put on.
Oh.
I'm ready. You're ready over here. Things in the middle. Let's make sure you speak up so she can hear you.
All right, the court is calling 2022 CR 6828 State of Texas versus Alonzo Miguel Taylor. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
State of Texas.
For the defense?
Greg Desmarais.
And are you Mr. Taylor?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have you received all the discovery in this case and did you review it with your client?
I have, Judge.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Is there an application?
There is an application, Your Honor.
And is that application for deferred and regular?
It is, Judge.
All right. Mr. Taylor, did you review a document entitled Application for Deferred Adjudication or Community Supervision with your attorney? Did you sign it and did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Showing you the true bill of indictment. Could everyone please whisper? Showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Honor.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes.
Mr. Taylor, I'm showing you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendants Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you're charged with the offense of felon in possession of a firearm? That's a third-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication? If for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine.
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
He has, Judge.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I do, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Mr. Taylor, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
According to the plea, punishment is to be assessed at a cap of 5 years in the prison. There's a $1,500 fine and the state will remain silent on your application. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense?
I did, Judge.
State?
Yes, Your Honor.
Showing you the paragraph entitled Waiver of Appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it in both places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, are there any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Then to the offense as charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence.
State offers states exhibit 1 in all attachments.
No objections, Your Honor.
All right, state you may be excused.
Judge, there were also 2 TICs that were supposed to be written in there. I apologize.
Oh, no problem.
No objections.
Thank you.
Can you make sure? All right, I'm showing you what's entitled Waiver and Consent to Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there'll be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same.
Jason. Okay, 1,000. Sit down. Oh, yeah, yeah. You can run it.
right, after reviewing state's exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will defer finding of guilt as you apply for deferred adjudication. Ms. Ferguson, I need a PSI report.
May 10th work. I only say that because I have no court date, but I can make it work. So whatever.
Well, let's put it on May 10th and see if it's ready. The PSI report may not be ready. That's the only issue.
Yes, ma'am. And Judge, if I may,
Mhm.
the state has agreed to a $20,000 bond on this case. He was, didn't have a bond set. He'd missed his court date. And that was that. And picked up these new cases, but I'm asking if the court would agree to a $20,000 bond. He's been in jail for 2 months. Obviously, our application for probation. I want to get him out there. I want to get him a job. I want to get him working.
All right, so with regards to that, the new cases that are being dismissed were taken in consideration.
Yes,
So I would need to know what the
They were
new
20
cases are and what the offense dates are. Are you going to be here tomorrow? You think you're going to,
I won't judge.
what if you're on the jury?
Well, I don't know. They're calling. I may be removed from the panel by now.
Well, I tell you what we can do is we can do it by Zoom because I know you have to go. If you're available to do it by Zoom, we can take care of this by Zoom.
If the bond is.
They want a bond for,
that's fine.
because I only need a few things that I don't have, and I know you're in a rush. Like, I need to know no problem. I just need to know the offense dates for those charges. And the state may be able to get that to me, and I'll be able to make a decision on your agreement or not.
Yes, ma'am. We'll take care of it.
Okay.
Well, we can give you the information if you want, Judge.
Yes, if you all will write it down and give me that information,
Yes, ma'am.
and then go ahead and do your jury duty.
Okay, thank you.
Okay,
And if we get a break, I'll come back up here.
sure.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, wait, we have the offense dates. right?
The alternate state judge for
Yeah.
those 2 cases that were taken into consideration are February 10th, 2023. And they happened at the same time.
The same time as this.
No. This is felon in possession and an evading arrest in a vehicle. Happened on the February 10th, 2023 case.
Mhm.
And then he was out on bond on the felon in possession case. That happened on April 2nd, 2022.
All right, so what bond are you all asking for?
I believe he was asking for bonds on the indicted case that he just pled to.
Correct.
And are you all in agreement on a bond?
Well, the state recommends, it was set at 20,000, when it was initially, and I believe I went up to 20,000, and that's what the bonds are set on the 2 new cases also, Your Honor.
Yes, ma'am. So we had agreed earlier to a $20,000 bond. For Jason.
That was, I'm sorry, that's correct.
Yeah, it was 10 and then you
That's
moved
what
it
the
to-
recommendation was, and that's what I believe stated.
All right, so Mr. Taylor, you're under oath. It appears that in the police report that I have that there may have been some marijuana. So
in the
do you,
report that was
do you
just
use
pled.
marijuana?
Yes, ma'am, a little bit.
All right, what does that mean? How often are you smoking marijuana?
I like once or 2 times a week.
Okay. Anything else?
No, ma'am. Well, I drink a little bit, that's it.
Who do you live with?
I live with my mom.
Does she want you there?
Yes, ma'am. She's in the car right now.
All right. Where's his mom?
She's in the back with the mask.
Okay. Who else lives there? Any minors? Any children?
Yes, my brothers and my sister.
And how old are they approximately?
One's 17 and another one's like 24.
Anyone younger than 17 live in the house?
Yes, my little brother, 10 years old.
Your Honor, did you want me to bring?
Judge, sorry, just
Yes.
if it's on the
Yes.
record, I see that the mom.
Yes, let's bring Mom up.
Yes, ma'am.
Taylor, on this side, please.
Rather than us guessing who lives in your house.
All right. Can you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, you can lower your hand. State your name for the record.
Tracy, Tejeda.
Tracy.
Tejeda.
All right. How many children are living in the home?
So I have my 4.
Okay, so what are their ages?
10, 9, 13, and 17.
Okay. And is it just you, the children who live there?
Yeah, me, my daughter's right here is with me too. She's 25, and then just the kids, and then Alonzo.
All right. Do you want Alonzo in the home?
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to put him on, I'm going to set his bond, but I'm going to put him on GPS.
I was gonna add. Thank you.
I'm sorry.
I had originally asked him if we could.
All right. So it's going to be GPS. And the only time he's going to be allowed to leave the home is if he has employment. So it's going to be full house arrest. And if he gets employment, then just let the court know and I'll consider that.
Thank you, Judge.
So I'll set his bond at 15,000 since I'm putting him on GPS.
Yeah, sure.
I'll ask that the fees are waived, or deferred.
Thank you, Judge.
And thank you so much for coming
Thank you,
in.
ma'am.
I do have a question.
Yes.
Go ahead.
For treatment for Alonzo outside of the facility, because he is considered disability. So I already have somewhere for him to go, so he can start to get from Central Health Services.
So you're saying while he's out on bond, if he can
Yeah.
go to this facility?
Mhm.
All right. And I'll put in there, he's allowed to attend all medical appointments. And if there's an issue with GPS where they say he's not allowed to go someplace and it's for medical, just let your attorney know, or either you can come in court. We're here from 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, and you can come in and let us know if there's an issue.
Okay.
All right. Is there anything else he needs?
Well, just, some anger management classes, some counseling, stuff like
Okay.
that is something that would be really beneficial for him.
All right, well, that's something, if I grant his application, that's something I'll take care on that end.
Yeah.
But I'm going to ask if you will be back here on May 10th as well. Ms. Ferguson, can you make sure they get a reset form for May 10th? If you could be here as well, because then I'll delve into more about what he may need if I grant his application, okay?
And for the
Thank
court's
you.
info, we definitely are going to have his mom here
Okay.
for court that day.
All right,
Thank you.
thank you. All right, Mr. Taylor,
Come on up.
I'm going to tell you, it is rare. Sometimes people show up to court, their parents don't come. So I'm going to set your bond at 15,000. You're going to be living at your mom's house. How old are you?
19.
All right, you're 19. That's an adult. That's why you're in adult court. But as far as living at your mom's house, and your mom's house, you are not an adult, you're a child. And let me tell you why. Because that's your mom's house. That's not your house. So if she wants you to wash dishes, you need to wash dishes. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now on full GPS, if there's a barbecue outside and somebody wants you to come out and work the grill, that GPS is going to go off that you're violating your GPS zone. So you can't go outside in the yard to work the grill. If somebody wants to give you a barbecue plate, you can't be sticking your hand out the window to get it. You are confined in your home. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you violate this GPS, that will tell me something about whether or not you can follow the court's rules and whether or not I should place you on deferred or regular probation. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. And I'm going to order that he do UAs as well.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Is there anything else?
Nothing, Judge.
All right. Could I get a B page on Mr. Taylor?
Thank you, Judge.
All right. And then that's the reset form. Have your client sign it and
Yes.
then enjoy your jury selection.
Open.
That's going to go well.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
You got it?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, thanks.
This on the indicted case, correct, Judge?
Yes.
Get out.
And Greg, you have to be here exactly at 9.
Say that again now?
I'm going to be here exactly at 9.
Yes, on that day. Okay, we're gonna talk before.
Oh, and Bashan, on this case, it's PSI and TAP.
I'll let you go.
Oh, and before you leave,
Yes, ma'am.
if you can write down his mother's address, and I'll put that in the order where he's supposed to reside.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yeah, do you want me to put it on the back of one of these?
You can just write it on the back of here.
Okay, thank you, Chuck.
Maria Medina? Oh, do you have? Hi. Thank you. And you dated everything.
I could have stretched out. I did it yesterday, but then your hand's not in the hallway.
All right, well, it is his fault. Thank you. Have a good one. All right, so what is happening with Maria Medina's case?
Go ahead. That we've conferred on it. If we may have a plea deadline, I think we'll have a resolution.
All right, and so I see that previously she had a bond forfeiture, so did she make?
The bond and, we visited and there's just a few more things we have to look at.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, on this, can I have a 3-week? Oh, that's for me.
Sorry, Judge.
Yeah, that's okay.
I wanted to-
Oh, no problem.
Thank you, ma'am. May I be excused?
Yes, you may be excused. On this one, can we have a 3-week reset for a plea deadline date?
I can do the 19th, or I'm sorry, that's a Wednesday.
Oh.
The 18th.
All right, your plea deadline date will be April 18th.
Thank you.
Ms. Ferguson will give you a reset form.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Take a seat. I don't view it, so I might use it. Yeah, so let's go with that. I never worked. There's only two organizations I've worked on, my father and my father. Yeah. Serving us. Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. Yeah. I could have got the new job anywhere.
That one's done. And let me write this in here and then this one will be done. And this is the bond.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know, it's a problem. That's
Welcome.
Yeah. Right here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Who's here on Jose Luis Garcia?
Hi, Judge.
And where is Jose Luis Garcia? All right, come on down, Mr. Garcia. Court is calling 2020 CR 4194 State of Texas versus Jose Luis Garcia. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Daniel Escobar for the state of Texas.
Defense?
Juan Aguilera, attorney for Mr. Garcia.
Right. And I'm sorry, can I get the staff for the motion to revoke? And are you Jose Garcia?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Garcia, I'm going to show you what's entitled Motion to Revoke Community Supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you the same Jose Luis Garcia who was placed on community supervision in 2020 CR 4194 for the offense of possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1 gram to 4 grams on August 3rd, 2020 for a term of 4 years? Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, state.
Violated condition number 5 in Bexar County, Texas. The defendant, Jose Luis Garcia, the defendant there failed to report to the supervision officer as directed for the months of July 2022 in violation of condition number 5.
How do you plead to that? True or not true? State.
Your Honor, state waives all the violations.
Did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 5, the court could find it true, grant the motion, and sentence you to 4 years in prison and $1,500 fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 5? Court would find violation of condition number 5 true. Is there an agreement?
No, Judge.
All right, state, what are you requesting?
Judge, state's requesting revocation. The underlying sentence was 4 years, so that's what the state's requesting.
All right, defense, what are you requesting?
Judge, originally, the actual probation is recommending that he go to state ISF cognitive and substance abuse tracks, followed by intensive supervision and extend his probation for an additional 6 months. So he can complete the aftercare and the parenting programs when he does return. He had been in DDRL for 120 days treatment and then continue with Central Healthcare Services, Genesis and mental health supervision, but he's failed to comply. Well, it tells me that the reason he's had problems is he's got a mom that he takes care of who suffers from Alzheimer's. And so a lot of times, in order to be able to take care of her, be able to meet his obligations with the probation office, that conflicted. He tried to work with the probation officer. Apparently there was a kind of funny, I was watching Cool Hand Luke last night and there was a failure to communicate.
Yes.
Judge. And so.
But did everybody eat the boiled eggs though?
And so that's basically what was happening in this situation. Judge, what we're asking the court is either follow the recommendations of the probation department or in the alternative to revoke, to reform his sentence down to 2 years and revoke his probation and sentence him to TDC. The reason we're asking for the reformation of the sentence of the 2 years is that he does have his mom that he's going to need to take care of. He's been incarcerated for 302 days. In incarceration, he has 120 days at DDRF facility, so he's got 400 something days total credit. In all probability, he would probably maybe be 2 or 3 months before he would be released on parole. So basically, that's what we're asking for, so he can come back out, take care of his mom. He told me also that he just started up a mechanic business, a little shade tree mechanic, does a little work. So he's able to be there for his mom and he's able to do some jobs. So that's what we're asking the court, either the alternative, follow the recommendations of probation and send him to the ISF cognitive and with the recommendations that they're making, or reform his sentence down to 2 years and revoke his probation and send him to TDC.
All right, probation, has he done anything?
Other than that, Your Honor, the service hours over me, there has not been a payment for anything included or anything. There was. Looks like there was a whole referral for intensive housing.
Okay. So is there anything you'd like to say, Mr. Garcia?
Yes, ma'am. I did.
You want to raise your right hand?
Uh,
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Jose Luis Garcia.
All right, what do you wish to say?
Well, I did do all my community service there at DDRF, I did all my community service there. Like I said, I was talking to the probation officer at that point in time. I was telling him, look, I got my mom, I'm moving my mom, and I did tell him I was dirty. I did tell him, so I was going to Mistletoe, going to him. I'm sorry. Oh, okay. I was going to Mistletoe, to the Mistletoe, going to the Mistletoe program, they told me to go, but I started going there, and I had told him, look, I'm 30 minutes late. And he was like, you know what, just come inside. And I had to move my mom at that point. So I was like, sir, I gotta take care of this. Go take care of what you gotta take care of and come right back in. And my mom has so much stuff, to move back and forth.
But this is what I don't understand. I don't understand why people can't pick up the phone and call somebody. And your attorney is well aware. I always say, if there is some issue that you're having with probation, you reach out to probation. If you think they're not solving that issue or they're not being receptive, you can always come into court, walk in and ask the court. So I don't understand the lack of communication. In this court, there's no excuse to pick up the phone unless it's like Sharknado. Then, the phone lines are down, but otherwise there's no excuse not to call probation. And I know the probation officers, if you call them, I know they'll respond. I know they'll respond in the 187th. And I know Miss Abrams will let me know everything that's going on because I get emails from her on a daily basis about how people in this court are doing on probation and what's going on. You just disappeared.
I understand that. I was exactly thinking the same thing. I should have called him.
And I will tell you, I'm not considering it. But looking at this motion, you didn't call in July, you didn't call in August, you didn't call in September, you didn't call in October, you didn't call in November. And then you're telling me that you told somebody you're going to be dirty. That means that you're not being a good caretaker or caregiver for your mom because you're using.
Yes, ma'am. But I've been there for my mom.
You're not being there for your mom. Because when you are not 100% there mentally and physically, that's a problem and emotionally, because you're on drugs. So that's where we are. Probation, will ISF accept him because of the DDRF?
So he did DRF in May of 2022, he was there for 150 days. He continued the care through the Center for Citizen Services Genesis program and the mental health unit supervision. But according to the notes, he failed to comply almost immediately. I can contact the state ISF to make sure that they will take him. But it appears that he just continues to put himself around negative people.
Yeah, there's.
Not willing to make any changes.
So that's where you're not willing to make any changes.
And Judge, rather than taking up a bed, that maybe somebody that is willing to participate, that's why we're asking the court to reform his sentence down to 2 years and revoke his probation. And I've talked to Mr. Garcia, and that's an alternative. It allows him to, go and do his time, whatever time he's got, if he's going to get credit, and he's got like 4 months at TDC, and then he can come back out and take care of it.
All right, do you have the trial court certification?
I don't, Judge. I was in the 187.
It's there.
Right before
If you'll have him fill that out.
we were in the 379 trying to stop it before he started jury trial again at 11.
Probation, did he pay the restitution to the SAPD for laboratory testing?
What's the cause number, Judge?
The cause number is 2020 CR 4194. Yes. Thank you, counsel. Is there anything else from either side?
Nothing from a state judge.
All right, the court will grant the motion, revoke. The court is going to sentence you to 3 years in the prison. There's a $1,500 fine. Time and money will run concurrent. $60, thank you, $60 restitution to SAPD for drug testing. Give you credit for time in DDRF and credit for any time served. Showing you what's entitled trial court certification of defendant's rights to appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it? I'm sorry?
Yes.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement. I'm sorry, not a plea bargain agreement. Sorry, I'm doing 3 things at once. All right, you do have a limited right to appeal. Can I see your sheet back, counsel? And that right to appeal is as it relates to the allegations in the motion, not the fact that you are on community supervision. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, we can go off the record. If you plan to be in your mom's life, then you're gonna have to do better. Because how old is your mom?
She's 82.
All right, she's 82. Parents always want their children to do well. They want them to succeed. You're bringing drama and trauma into her life.
Yes.
And while she still has all her faculties and know who you are, hopefully you will be a person that she can be proud of.
Yes.
And if you have a drug or alcohol problem, there are plenty of places that are free for you to take care of that. Do you understand? And did that neck tattoo hurt?
Yes.
Okay, did you think to stop when it was hurting, or you just said, I've started?
I was real young. I was really young and I regret all these tattoos.
How old were you?
I was like 18, 17. I was living in the streets when I was really.
All right, so did a professional do it or just somebody?
So that is somebody.
And did they use the proper tools?
Oh, yes.
Okay. All right, well, good luck to you. You're welcome.
Thank
Thank
Judge.
you.
May I be excused?
Yes.
Thank you.
Who's here on Thomas Marsh? Court is calling 2022 CR 10886, State of Texas versus Thomas Marsh. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Daniel Escobar for the state of Texas.
Defense?
Ryan Wolf and Thomas Marsh.
And are you Mr. Marsh?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, have you received all the discovery in this case and did you review it with your client? Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Marsh, I'm showing you what's entitled application for community supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Next, I'm showing you what's entitled true bill of indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, sir.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Your Honor, we're waiving the enhancement allegation paragraph,
Any objection?
No objection.
but otherwise proceeding on the indictment.
All right, thank you. Showing you what's entitled court admonishments and defendants waivers and affidavit of admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you're charged with the offense of possession of controlled substance penalty group 1 gram to 4 grams? That's a 3rd-degree felony.
Yes,
Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand? If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you enter a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call them the right to remain silent? Did you understand by entering this plea, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
He has.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Yes.
Do you believe he's currently competent, was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes.
Mr. Marsh, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
I am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to plea, punishment is to be assessed at 4 years in the prison. There is no application for deferred adjudication. State opposes your application for community supervision. They will take in consideration NIMAG number 701585. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense, is that the plea?
It is.
State, is that the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you the waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes.
Counsel, were there any such motions? Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Guilty.
State any evidence?
State offer states exhibit 1 in all attachments.
All right, thank you. Your excuse. All right, Mr. Marsh, I'm showing you what's entitled waiving consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements, police reports, but most importantly, there'll be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. After reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will find you guilty. This will be set for sentencing on what date, Ms. Ferguson?
I think-
And I'm gonna,
Do May 18th.
all right, we're gonna come back on May 18th for your sentencing. I'm gonna request the PSI and TAP. I will base my decision on your application on the PSI report that I received and any other evidence that's presented to me. All right, good luck to you. You're welcome. Yes. Fraga? All right, so what is going on with this case?
Well, I confer with the state, Your Honor. I've talked to my client, and they have tendered an offer and started signing the paperwork, and the client informed me that he's a resident, so I'm asking the court if we can appoint someone to interview him and get up a deal letter, sure that he can take this offer.
All right,
Obviously, we can't do it today.
Ms. Ferguson, can I have an immigration attorney for Mr. Fraga?
Yeah, I can call. I'm sorry.
Okay,
Yeah, the sooner the better, Your Honor. I mean, I don't think it should take that long for them to do an interview.
okay. And Mr. Fraga?
Yes.
All right. Are there any language issues?
But English, no.
Okay, so you won't need an interpreter?
No.
Okay. Ms. Ferguson,
Yes, ma'am.
on this one, let's do a 30-day reset.
April 18th.
All right, so we're going to come back on April 18th, and we'll have you remain in court until we get the immigration attorney for you.
Okay.
All right.
April 18th, you said, Mama? April 18th.
Should be a Tuesday.
All right. Who is here on Fernando Zepeda?
The case is set for sentencing tomorrow, Judge,
Yes.
and he picked up a new misdemeanor that's probably gonna be enhanced to a felony. I've conferred with the state. We didn't have a problem with setting this for about 30 days to see what we can do to try to merge everything into the one.
Wait, so he picked up a misdemeanor? And what is the misdemeanor?
Judge, it was a state jail felony. It's an evading.
Evading, but-
Evading sector more.
But he has a prior one, so they're making it a felony. It's a nightmare.
All right, so we're not going to proceed with this. That's stopping us from proceeding with this?
Well, I'm hoping to see what we can do with the new case and take care of everything with the sentencing.
And
at a
Judge,
later date.
this is something that I can take a look at later. It's just right now I was downloading something off of
Oh, no.
So.
I tell you what, if I give you all, how much time?
A week, Judge, it's not gonna take.
You sure a week?
Yeah, just because it's just gonna be the police report and just checking everything out.
Okay, all right, Miss Ferguson,
Yes, ma'am.
on Mr. Zepeda.
Uh-huh.
And I'll give you the file. Can we move this to, let me look at the calendar.
Brandon,
Can we move this for April, maybe April 11th? Is that good enough time for everybody?
Thank you, Judge.
Thanks, Judge.
You're welcome.
And it's not gonna take long.
Thanks, I appreciate it. See you tomorrow.
All right, thank
Got
you.
other cases.
Okay. And this is April 11th. And Norma, the last file we have is Renee Torres.
that one I accidentally put it on today's document. It's supposed to be there.
Okay. All right, thanks. We're done.
You're done.
Yay! Before 12. What do we do with ourselves?
What are we gonna do?
Yeah, just get ready for trial on Friday.
Exactly. Well, have a good day, guys. Bye, Judge.
Jury selection on Friday. Yeah. So